Okay, we're here for lesson 11, reciprocals and order of operations. Let's start with talking about reciprocals, or what's also known as the multiplicative inverse. Alright, recall the reciprocal of a number is just a number flipped upside down. And remember that we need to do that to perform fraction division. Remember the copy change flip problem, so 3/4 divided by, let's say, 2/3. We have to copy this guy, change this, and then flip this one upside down. That's the exact same thing we're talking about here. Alright, so let's reciprocate these numbers. 4/3, just turn it upside down, 3/4. 2/7 would be 7/2. 1/5 would be 5/1, or just 5. 6 upside down, remember when you have a whole number, you're allowed to put a 1 underneath of it. When this turns upside down, it becomes 1/6. And finally, the reciprocal of 0, well, the reciprocal of 0 is a little bit interesting. Here's why. Remember, you're allowed to put a 1 down there. If I would flip this upside down, I'd have 1/0. And remember, you're not allowed to have a 0 in the bottom of a fraction. So 0 does not have a reciprocal because it would be undefined. And that's actually the point we get into right down here. Okay, remember, whole numbers can be written as a fraction over 1. They also have reciprocals, just like this guy here and this guy here. So 5 equals 5/1, and the reciprocal would be 1/5. Okay, let's move on. We can also call the reciprocal of a number the multiplicative inverse. And the reason it is called the multiplicative inverse is because if I multiply that number by the reciprocal, I get a 1. So for instance, the reciprocal of 3/7 is 7/3, and 3/7 times 7/3 is 1. So really, that number flipped upside down, multiplied by the original number, just brings you back to 1. So let's try an example down here. 5/3 times 3/5 gives us 1. Remember, just this number upside down brings us back to 1. 7/11 multiplied by 11/7 gives us 1. And finally, 21/2, that's just 2/21, flipped upside down. Okay? Remember, if you take a number or a fraction, flip it upside down, multiply the 2, you end up with 1. That's going to be important. Okay, on page 2, we're talking about solving equations. The order of operations is a commonly agreed upon method or order to solve equations. And the order goes like this. Complete anything in parentheses. Parentheses are first. Then any powers, say x to the y. Multiply and divide left to right comes next. And then add or subtract from left to right. Just remember, I'm sure you've all heard of this. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Or PEMDAS. Alright. Let's try an example. Here we have 4 plus 9 times quantity 4 minus 2 times 2 divided by 6. Remember, simplify parentheses first. So we have 4 plus 9 times 4 minus 2 is 2 times 2 divided by 6. And notice that I only wrote down what I've changed so far. And I'm going to do this very carefully, step by step, so that I don't get lost. Alright, now we have multiplication all through here and then division. So we have 9 times 2, which is 18. 18 times 2, which is 36. So 4 plus 36, that takes care of all the multiplication, divided by 6. Have to do division before I'm allowed to add. So 36 divided by 6 is 6, and I'm left with 4 plus 6, which is 10. Careful order of operations will get us to the right answer every time. Alright, this time we have to do a little bit of substitution. X is 3, y is 4. So 4 plus x, but remember, x was 3, times quantity y minus 3, but y was 4. And then we're going to divide by 7. Alright, simplify parentheses first. 4 plus 3 times quantity 4 minus 3, that's a 1. divided by 7. 3 times 1 is 3. In order to make this work, we're going to have to modify this a little bit, I think. We're going to have to do this, changing the order of operations, or else we're going to end up with a decimal. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and let's put these in up here like that, and let's start this problem over again so we can see how this is going to play out. Okay, let's do our substitutions again. We have 4 plus 3 times quantity, 4 minus 3 divided by 7. And don't forget those big brackets that we're now going to put in. Okay, this will make more sense. Okay, 4 minus 3 is 1 times 3. So 4 plus 3 times 1, big bracket still, divided by 7. Alright, 3 times 1 is 3, plus 4 is 7. Now, here is the reason right there why I wanted those big brackets in there, because had I not had them, I would have had to do 3 divided by 7 before adding the 4. That's not what we want. We wanted something nice that was going to work out easy. That's what I was going for anyway when I made this example. I forgot the brackets. So make sure you put them in and the problem will work out fairly nice. Okay? Okay, let's go to the last page. Here we're going to do some more practice with order of operations. We have 3 divided by 4 minus 3 times 4. Remember, parentheses first. So 3 divided by 4 minus 3, which is 1, times 4. Now we multiply or divide left to right. 3 divided by 1 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. Number 2. Parentheses first. 6 minus 4 plus 1, which is 5, times 8 plus 3. Alright, now we need 5 times 8 on the inside here. Multiplication first. 6 minus 5 times 8, which is 40, plus 3. Now we just add and subtract from left to right. 6 minus 40 is negative 34, plus 3, negative 31. Okay? Okay, now let's practice our substitution. We have x equal 4, y equal 2. So 2x, but remember, x is 4, minus 3y, but watch these double parentheses so that I can get my 2 in there for my y, divided by 2. Alright, 2 times 4 is 8 out front, minus 3 times 2, which is 6, divided by 2. Okay, that takes care of all the multiplication. 6 divided by 2 is 3, so I have 8 minus 3. That leaves me with a 5 here. Finally, our last one for substitutions, 5y, but y is 2, divided by 4 divided by y. Double parentheses again to make sure that I get my good substitution in there. Times x, but x is 4. Okay, 5 times 2 is, well, I guess I should start inside the parentheses here. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And out here we have divided by and multiply times 4 and 5 times 2 out here. Okay, all the parentheses are gone. All that's left is multiplication and division. Let's just go left to right. 5 times 2 is 10. Divided by 2 times 4. 10 divided by 2 is 5 times 4. That leaves me with 20. Okay. The last problem we're going to do is a bit of a word problem. Let's say we go to the bakery and we buy a dozen cookies, half dozen cinnamon rolls, and 8 cupcakes. The cookies are 40 cents each, the cinnamon rolls are 55 cents each, and the cupcakes are 50 cents each. Write an algebraic expression to show how much we spent and calculate our total cost. Alright. So let's see. We buy a dozen cookies. So 12 cookies times their price, 40 cents each, plus half dozen of cinnamon rolls, so 6 times 55 cents each, plus our 8 cupcakes at 50 cents each. All right, so we have 12 times 0.4, which is $4.80, plus 6 times 0.55, which is $3.30, plus 8 times 50 cents, which is $4. Now we're just going to add all these guys together and get a grand total of $12.10. So what we used there was order of operations. We had to multiply first and then add. Okay, this is the conclusion of lesson 11, order of operations and reciprocals. If there was anything that you got confused on, make sure you go back and rewatch that section, especially that one example on the bottom of the second page where we had to add an extra set of brackets to make it work out evenly. Okay? I will see you in class.